Udyr locked in straight away.
You know the surprising stat about this? This is Shun's first game of Udyr this split.
Oh, hell
Remember, IG were the team first picking Nidalee before, and I think this really shows that after the Lunar New Year break, IG has really changed the way they draft, the way they're playing the game. Like, sure, again, it's still always going to be more mechanical skill-based, more about some early laning phases, but in their last series and in all of their drafts, we are seeing a different approach.
Which is good and bad to see. You know, maybe I'll hold my words on that to see what actually gets done here by Shun in the early game. The response, though, from Suning, you can expect. You know, you see the Rel, such a big power pick, and usually it is a jungle response, and SOFM's Olaf, man. You know, get ready for the innovative builds again. I don't care, even if it's Gore Drinker. We're going to see something fun.
I wonder if we see Thresh Aphelios here, because Lucas has only played 2 champions. He's only played Rel and Thresh, and, you know, it makes sense. When he can get Rel, he plays Rel, and when the enemy team takes Rel, he takes Thresh, which is pretty decent against it, because Death Sentence and Flay can stop the crash down. And when you have the Thresh, sure, he can go back towards the Samira, and they can play that more, again, snowball early, put resources into Puff, but we've seen that teams have been banning Aphelios against Puff, and Thresh always opens up the opportunity to take that champion.
And I really loved this lane when it was Puff and Southwind, when they were the duo, even on Vici Gaming, the early days of Invictus Gaming. I think this was one of their best champion duos. And, you know, even though it is a duo within its own right, to see Puff back again on the Aphelios might put some hope in the bottom lane in a very comfortable way for IG fans. Let's transition over, though, because for Suning, like, this wouldn't be a bit of a surprise. Game 1, Angel played the Azir, got a good position in the lane, and then, once again, set up Suning for success with the ultimates available.
And this is where I want to see our Suning go with the bans. You would expect 2 potential mid lane bans coming out, because you can just take AD carry on 4 and counter pick top lane. I think you do just ban those higher Victor this game.
It's a nice touch. I like that you say that, Lyric, because I don't want to see him on, you know, something that's as stable as it was in game 1. I do like, however, that we've got a Kalista ban against Juan Fong. Now, this is an AD carry that we know can go for things like Jhin, so I'm a little bit surprised to see that coming out early from IG.
And the problem with my last statement, Asterix, is Suning did what I said. They banned the Zoe, they banned the Syndra, so not too many aggressive picks that we can think that Rookie can default to.
Unless we go back to something like the Lucian. We saw it earlier today against the Azir.
I think it'd probably be, your comp would probably be too heavily AD. And sure, the Shy can bring out an AP top laner. He's played the Karma, he's played the Kennen, he's even played the Rumble, but I don't know how I feel about any of those champions. Potentially, you can go with something like the Orianna, which, again, it is more of a scaling pick in theory, but I still think it provides more early on than something like a Victor did.
Okay, so we get the Samira here. Not too big of a surprise when we see that it is a Rel partnered up in the lane. We can talk more about that pretty simple bottom lane, while IG, we want to see what comes through here, because blue side, they have to put their cards on the table. Is it just going to be that safe blind top laner for the Shy? Yes, it is. He's back on the Sion, folks. I'm so sorry, and Rookie on Victor again, man.
It's a new drafting philosophy, Hysterics. This is the way that IG are going forward after the Lunar New Year, and you know, the great thing about their comp, it screams scaling. If this game can get to that 30-35 minute mark, you know, again, we're just talking about the 3 items that we were hitting on with Rookie last game, then, you know, it could do good things. But at the same time, last game they didn't even manage to get through the early game.
Vayne up into the top lane, running into tanks especially, and just dominating
2 of
the
those
laning phase.
this split. He's played Vayne and Quinn both this split.
And Jason solo queue as well. I mean, he plays his pick a lot, so Ben's going to run the pick against him, try and win out the lane, and give the Shy's treatment. And, you know, you talked about the scaling aptitude here of Invictus Gaming. We do see some scaling on Suning's side, and I guess my question is, like, is it all about the snowball potential of bottom lane here for Suning in Game 2?
I think I have a tough time imagining how this game will go, for the fact that I think both teams can play around both sides depending on how they think the other team will play. I think what would be optimal would still be for both teams to opt into bot lane. We've seen Aphelios and Thresh have really good times in laning phases, being able to like hit turret, take plates, do well in the 2v2. So for IG, I'd love to see them put resources into that. And same for Suning. When you have the Samira, you know they're going to push in. It can open some very obvious gank windows. But what I expect to happen is that both teams are going to focus topside. I think Ben's going to push his advantage full on, SOFM will play through that prio and try to invade topside, and then Shun's gonna try and gank Bin because you have CC from the Shy and you have damage from the Udyr.
All right, I like that lyric. You know, let's say IG and Suning, game number 2. We got a pretty good game from Suning in game 1. IG trying to run it back to make a game number 3. After beating EDG, we come into a game number 1. Suning thrash Invictus Gaming in under 30 minutes. And game 2 now match point to see if Suning can kind of recover some of their, I guess, respect that they gained off of getting to the World's Final as the unlikely 3rd seed of the LPL. And a lot's changed. They've lost sorta, they've lost direction, or at least so we thought, until we saw game number 1. So we're onto the Rift now. We saw a bit of a ward for ward situation in the bottom lane. Both backed away, and we're now coming back to the Rift in a pretty stable fan out, as you'd expect.
Also interesting to see Puff pay so much respect to Lucas. He is taking the cleanse when that's really all the CC that, actually it is all the CC that Suning's comp offers. Samira taking the cleanse. There are numerous ways to lock her down on the enemy side. And again, just that sentence in lane can be pretty much do or die. So we are seeing Shun path towards the bot side this time around. So maybe not going to go with what I expected in ganking Bin early on. I think we can also potentially see that with the fact that the Shy's gone Spellbook, which makes sense. You would never go Grasp in this lane. I think it would be way too hard to proc. Glacial Augment if you do want to combo with your jungle and set up ganks, but he's going to play much more for utility in the team fights, the way it can impact team fights later on. So
yep.
I like the way that IG have set up this first clear.
I have to hope that the Shy, you know, doesn't get beaten to a pulp so that he's not tanky at all by the time they get into some of those skirmishes or fights that we saw in game number 1. We're coming to a lane where Puff and Lucas have established themselves early. Now, Lyric, I don't think they gave a leash. I think we just saw them set up in bottom lanes. So it was actually Shun, to correct myself, who's on the top side. So, of course, they didn't give a leash. They get level 2 first and get priority to force one Fong against Turret without CS yet.
And now we're probably just going to see both sides trading Scuttle Crabs, right? So going to be a very expected first 5 minutes of the game. If Bin can get a few more trades onto the Shy right here, you know, hit an accelerated shock blast, he's going to hit 3 right now, walk forward, while the Shy's last hitting a minion, maybe get a W off. Maybe you can see a dive coming out onto Sion early. He's not actually tanky enough now where it really would mean too much, but for Shun, I don't really think we're going to see anything. Huan Fong and On should be fine under turret, and then Shun will look for a recall, path back towards his top side, and full clear once again.
Remember as well, Death Sentence can be blocked by the Blade well as well, so it feels really nice. And SOFM now up towards the top side, just moving towards Scuttle. He's there first, a couple of seconds behind is Shun. So he'll be kicking Scuttle for Scuttle at the moment. Angel pushing in the mid wave meanwhile though, and doing pretty well within this lane. Denies a bit of CS at the turret, and the Rookie gets the XP, but not the lead.
Just going to have a reset off here to make sure Rookie doesn't get punished. I don't really think they have any way of forcing out Angel's Flash in this lane. He can't always just dash away, and, you know, there it is, Hysterics. 3 minutes and 40 seconds of full clears. Well,
very, very fast. And, as usual, back here for the double Ruby Crystal. Note that SOFM has gone for the Ionian Boots of Lucidity, just get that undertow up faster as well. And everything as we expected it so far. Good little play there, but it's early. Lucas has to flash. I think he's expecting to crash down, but Lucas too early on the trigger.
But I think Puff will have to burn summoners, and Lucas can just be dead here once SOFM shows.
That attract and repel, that's what he wants. He mounts up, gets the stun on the support. In comes SOFM, but their target's onto Lucas. First blood for Suning once again. They're grabbing him to lockdown. Meanwhile, Shun up in the top side. No flash needed with the Tiger stance, but the Shy wanted the kill as a response.
And both teams just punishing the lane that has Prio on the opposite side. Both mirroring each other, right? Full clear, reset into where you start out. Ganks come out. Luckily for IG, Puff didn't have to blow his flash like I expected, but still, 1-for-1 on both sides. A kill onto Sion and Samir, respectively.
Rookie, meanwhile, bullying out Angel in the mid lane. That was a bit tense, but Rookie didn't have too much mana. Wasn't willing to commit the flash either. I should also respond that, of course, IG did get first blood in game number 1. It was in that top side once again, and it was the Shy on the Sun who picked it up. So, good start of the game for IG, but Lucas going down, gives the kill over to Juan Fong Lyric. He's got the Vampiric Scepter, and Samira already off to a decent start.
And now it's going to be about how they can keep pushing this forward. I guess it's going to be just a complete different plan from Suning in this game. They're not going to try and play around Bin's Prio, allow him to hit tower. They're going to punish the bot lane, but the Shy might just be dead.
Yeah, he might just be dead. He's knocked on back. Has the minion wave, though. Decimating Smash, a little bit too late. Doesn't get the full knock-up. SOFM here just in case, and there you go. Solo kill for Bin on the Jace. The Shy running after him. He's so mad, but Bin gets out alive.
And now, how does IG respond? They're looking towards the mid lane, but Angel is paying a lot of respect, and they're not going to be able to get anything from this. Oh,
and Lucas in their flash. Oh, no, the Shy did the classic. SOFM's here as well. It's an Olaf. Bin can hit through the minion wave. And you know what? Even with ulti, the Shy is now 1 and 2. 2 quick deaths for this Sion.
You know, with the wave he had, he started to make me a believer. Yeah. But, you know... like you said, it didn't matter. They had enough damage to close it out. Is skirmish on the bot side.
Oh, really good play. Stops on from getting away. Should coming down. This should be a kill going over. And we give bloods to the Blood God. This is our contribution to Clemenchu.
And now we should turn into a dragon for the side of IG. I mean, this should turn into a dragon, I'm sorry, but...
Yep.
IG gonna hit bot side turret as well. Gonna get some plates for Puff. He has a CS advantage right now. Is gonna back and also have some nice items. And just like game one, I remember we said we're going jab for jab, cross map for cross map. And it's nice to see that both teams are just continuously taking advantage of the bounce back on the opposite sides.
And trying to play aggressive. That flashing SOFM steals it. Take the Dark Passage. You've just been disrespected.
Yeah, just really good smite coming out from him. I like that. No kills coming out. Shun will still have his flash up, so if he wants to look for a gank once he does come off his reset, there are at least more potential aggressive opportunities available.
That's just, you know, kind of heartbreaking. Shun on the dragon first. I'm not sure if he had the smite available. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. We see it on a cooldown now, but at the very least, taken away by SOFM, gets that early objective, and
game three Suning of RNG versus IG. Me and you were casters, and we saw this happen at the Baron Pit, where IG ended up losing.
Yes, they did. And Suning will always have that over them because felt like it should have been an IG win. Here in this early game, the Shy's given over 2 kills up on the top side. The Dragon gets stolen over. Suning right now in about 600 gold lead and then some. At 8 minutes into the game, this is another good early start. And we'll have to see where they take it from here with SOFM. Taking a bit of a jungle lead himself now, too.
The great thing is this game is mostly even, right? CS across the board is tit for tat. Sure, 1 dragon to nothing. Gold isn't that bad. And we've talked about, I mean, you look at their comp. They have a tank in the top lane. They have Victor. They have Aphelios. If you're going even for the next 10 minutes of this game, you are happy. You are winning.
And keep it as so. The Shy paying respect. Doesn't have his flash. Sees SOFM and the bullying begins. This is when you tell the principal, but the principal doesn't do anything about it. He's a horrible man. And he kind of just lets the bullying continue.
But Hysterics, look at the river on both sides. Suning have such good vision control down that...
That's true.
I mean, yeah.
Lit up.
The Shy just can't keep playing like this, especially if Bin's able to get that bounce back. So... I feel like at some point, IG are going to have to come top and provide a bit of support, clear out these wards. We're getting to the point, though, where the Shy's tanky enough to where he should be able to survive any punishment that SOFM and Bin throw his way. I wonder if Suning will just look straight topside with this Herald and try to funnel gold onto the Jace, but nope. SOFM just going to go back into his jungle and take his red buff.
Yeah, because he's got camps to clear. Lyric, you know, we saw him at Worlds as well. When there's camps up, he doesn't care if it could be the right play or the most available play. If there's jungle camps there, SOFM, of course, will choose the latter. So right now, it goes back to his red buff.
You know what I love? I can't remember who it was against, but there's one game at Worlds where I remember the 4 members of Suning setting up and getting vision on Dragon and posturing with the enemy team as SOFM is finishing off his wolves. Yep. And it's like, man, this guy just goes full force. He's going to get that reset timer on point.
That's right. And he's going to have a 6 CS lead. As even in this game, man, you know, he's pretty much got exactly that over Shun. He picked up the steal on Dragon, which gave the CS advantage, but he's maintaining a pretty healthy gap right now. Even went back to take his first back, and We've got the Phage, we've got the Kindle Gem in the inventory, so pretty close towards the first mythic item. And SOFM in a good position in the early game, yet again in this series. 10 minutes into the game, and you said gold was even. We still see that pretty much on the board, minus the couple of hundred. And IG still trying to make a play here, with Lucas roaming around, looking for Angel in the mid lane.
I really want to see Suning make a play towards mid. It's not something they're really known for too much, but when they've highlighted, hey, you have an immobile Victor on the opposite side, you can do the Shurima Shuffle, you have the Rel, bring Olaf for the damage. I would like to at least see them force that flash so Rookie doesn't get lane prio. But instead, all eyes are on top side as Shun and the Shy are going to go for this.
Guy has ulti, puts it into a wall, and Bin flashes away. That's still worth. Shun now needs to go back and make a decision himself. Unless they continue to dive this, the Shy's just like trying to be a brick wall and intimidate him. The bully becomes the bullied.
He's lost about 3 CS worth of experience. He's losing gold. The Shy's getting played. So even if they're not diving Bin, it's still massively worth for them to make this play. We need to keep our eyes on Puff and Lucas, though, if SOFM and Hwanfeng and On look to respond.
Because SOFM has a chance to put down the Herald in one of these two lanes. Actually waiting in brush. Rookie's walking in. He wanted to drop a ward. Gravity Surge put on down, but it is SOFM who misses the second undertow after Rookie flashes away. Good punish here from the Olaf jungle.
I also like that Hwanfeng and On were hovering in the tri-brush just in case anything broke out. They're preventing Puff and Lucas from being able to roam a shorter distance. They're easily able to follow up as well, but Shun's here.
Yes, he is. Peekaboo onto Angel. The ult doesn't connect, and Chaos Storm will force the flash, but Shun matches away. No shifting sands. The damage not enough, but Shun will get the kill in the end, runs away, and his job is truly done.
I'm just, you know, the hitbox wasn't exactly there. Hysterics. It was kind of tragic to watch, but you know, good play by IG. We're gonna focus on the good. Nice gank coming out from Shun, but Suning going to respond with an Infernal Drake. So they got the timer. They're closing in for that soul point. But the thing is, we have a Mountain Rift, we have a Scion on the opposite side. If IG can start stacking these up against a Samira and a Jace, the Shy and even Shun can become unkillable.
True. You got 4 dragons in the back pocket if you can turn the favor. We come back as SOFM picks a dragon, also decides to make another appearance towards mid lane, and he'll put the Herald down to give a bit of this plating over to Angel. Shun and Rookie now group up themselves as well, so charge will still go through. Angel near enough to take some of it too, but the Herald will get no further after Rookie kills it down.
So still nice bit of gold injection for Suning. The gold is still even on both sides.
Yep.
When we look at items, we still see a similar thing where Verdant Barrier is built for Angel. Rookie has the components for the Archangel's Staff. Looks like he might go for that one first this time around, but On and Lucas, their paths are going to collide.
It's a portal combat until Puff says, I'm here with Gravitum. A Pelham Retract is going to bring in Angel and SOFM. There's the engage with Magnet Storm. Immediate flash burnt from both these bottom laners as Puff comes back in, re-engage. It's Infernum, though, with the Moonlight Vigil, but here comes the bear again. Shun, man, is now 3-0.
That was really weird because Lucas and On meet in that bush, and there's like a 1 second or 2 second delay before we see them really interact with each other. It's like, oh wait, you're here? Then we see Angel follow in with the play. I'm not sure if his Emperor's Divide was exactly up off cooldown yet because that also looked a bit delayed. It gave enough time for Puff and Lucas to flash away, and even then some. Nice response coming out from Shun. We've seen it. The run stun job's done a million times before.
Oh boy.
And heck, now IG are in a good place to continue to have the breathing room that we've set up, because ultimately the win condition for IG, if you want to be like, hey, what should IG do here, Lyric? It's like, you're fine just doing nothing. Catch waves, farm, prevent Suning from being able to make any of their proactive plays. You're going to be fighting over that next dragon, and then that's when you're going to start moving the game forward.
And you got to think, it doesn't matter that Shun's 30 CS down when he keeps getting these kills and setting up for his team. Bin against the wall. Could have just walked away from the Shy, who's now absorbing up the pressure. But you know what? Time to give Rookie a kill here. After all the dives come through, and IG with another one.
And we just said they don't need to be the team making proactive plays, but they're still doing it, and they're still accelerate. Well, it's good too, right? They see a perfect opportunity. They realize they have a tank, they have engage. Bin is extremely squishy. They rotate the members and get it. They will give over mid turret. I don't think it means too much. IG have a ton of wave clear, so Suning shouldn't be able to aggressively push in the mid lane all too often to get like deep vision in both quadrants of IG's jungle. But still, they are one turret up. It does give them more gold, and now they're the team that can turn towards the Rift Herald.
Always nice when you have Aphelios just holding the mid wave, right? When he hasn't burned him, when he, you know, has a lot of support, feels safe to just clear these waves quite proactively. And Suning, yeah, on the Herald now, SOFM going to be taking that without any contention. So for Suning, you talked about they're in a bit of trouble if this game goes at the pace it's going at with Invictus Gaming, keeping gold even and even making some of the proactive plays themselves. How do you play with some of these elongated lanes and start capitalizing on what was an earlier lead from SOFM and the burst damage that's going to come through from Bin?
I mean, I think luckily for... Actually, it'd be luckily for IG, is that none of the lanes really are elongated, right? And the only one that is mid lane, and that doesn't really change the dynamic of the map because of the way the compositions are right now. Sure, it does give a bit more wiggle room for Suning in terms of pushing out mid wave, but again, IG do have so much wave clear. Right now, it's about just heading towards the side lane, dropping the Herald, giving a bit of a gold injection. I think it will be to Huanfeng. At this point, they haven't really accelerated their Jace enough to where I feel like it'd be meaningful to give him any gold or even open up a side lane.
Yeah.
Like, think about it. Even if you leave Bin against the Shy, I actually think that just leaves more potential for the Shy to ult and Xun to run in and kill him, rather than what you'd expect of like, oh, a Jace that's really far ahead is going to shove the Sion in and hit turret. No, I think, again, he's just going to get mowed down by Sion and Udyr. So maybe having this shorter lane for Bin is actually a plus side right now.
Yeah, when you expect that it should be that other way around, right? Considering that the Shy teleported into his own demise and Bin and SOFM really handled the top lane well again. At IG, it feels like the dynamic is about them this game. However, waiting for another pick onto On. Death Sentence lands. Lucas can bring one friend as a Crashdown gets out of the gravity field. SOFM's running in. He's level 11 onto Xun. Level advantage as the Shy decides it's Thomas the Tank Engine time. He wants Huanfeng, so he's going to zone him out. While the rest of Suning are gap closing themselves around this area. Decimating Smash dodged away from thanks to Huanfeng. And this is Dragon number 3, which IG definitely want.
And just small, really close distance. Small moments like that where you can see the rest of the team wasn't on the same page at the second the Shy wanted to go in because it felt like Lucas could have baited SOFM more into that fight. Oh, Puff slow.
Yeah, they're in a bad position. Goodbye, Puff. He should not have been there. And On takes him down. Dragon number 3. Now, Suning are going to be on Soul Point. The gear is completely shifted again.
Let's remember that I feel like this is more of a takeaway from IG rather it is like, hey, this is super amazing for Suning's comp. Sure, you know, your resistances increased, multiplied will be nice. You're not really building too many of those. And then the shield, of course, will be great on everyone. But still, this is just a nicer, like, thank God IG aren't getting this. We're going to be on Soul Point. And then we're going to be fighting for Elder when we are still at some of our spikes where our champions are still strong.
I was also going to add, right, as well as the nice takeaway, it's like putting IG in an uncomfortable position where you see Bin's still doing a lot of damage against the squishier members.
You're right, just one accelerated shock blast. They have the blasting plant there. No members to stand around him or really peel for him, as we saw the Shy and Lucas zoning on the opposite side, and Suning just capitalized beautifully.
Still ahead in gold in this game, but again, remember that for Invictus Gaming, this is not going to be too much. As the Shy decides it's time for Bin to die, he flashes away. The bear comes in to slap. The Shy goes back to the minion wave to get the slow from E. A lot of damage going down on the Bin. You think they're giving up? No, it's an Udyr and Sion, and they both live to give the Shy another kill in this game.
And this goes back to that point that I don't think Bin would actually like an elongated lane with how this game has developed. He will just continuously be punished. They are getting more gold onto their Udyr, though. 3-0 and 3 for Xun. Suning will answer on the bottom side of the map. I like the respect that Rookie is showing. He's not walking up. He is going to let that wave come in and wait to catch that one. He is still only on one item, the Archangel, so, you know, we still have a bit of time to go before IG really hit that full, like, over 9,000 power spike, and I think it's still just a farming game. The problem is, since Suning's on Soul Point, you don't really, the cards aren't in your hand. You don't choose when you fight. Suning choose when you fight. And by Suning, I mean the timer on the left hand of our screen.
Thank you for making it easier for everyone, including myself, sir. So 3 minutes included in this waiting power spike for Suning, rather waiting denial. We talked about Baron's up as well. Just keep that in the back of your mind. There's always shenanigans that can be played through from both these teams, considering that, you know, we do have decently fast Barons from both these teams. Azir, Aphelios, all that jazz. And as we clear away some of the vision, we go back to the farming game. So we'll just keep an eye on those timers and see what picks come through leading up towards this Sol point.
And with Dragon not up yet, right, it becomes about controlling vision on the top side, as we do see Suning doing now, making sure no Baron shenanigans come out. You have what we've talked about many times is Azir plus an 80 carry on one side, and then Aphelios. We all know that story, right? Severum plus Chakrams coming out as well. So just making sure no sneaky Barons come out on either side.
As IG have done their own plenty of times. Actually, I think Suning were a very sneaky Baron team in 2020 as well.
We saw by the end of 2020, any team that we did consider a top team would do the sneaky Baron.
Yeah. LPL teams became... top LPL teams became really fun to watch towards the end of 2020. I think that's still the case now. As you talk about vision control, IG still doing their due diligence. On is just being a nuisance as well. Always has the support of either Angel or Huanfeng. You know, a lot of gap close for both those carries.
And look at the discipline right there from On. He backed off slightly because there's control wards in IG's jungle, waited for Angel to link up with him before going off and finishing that ward. So small fundamentals like that where you aren't just greeting or over-aggressing and doing something by yourself are nice to see, especially from young rookie players.
Bin's just waiting for Puff in the mid lane. Does he overstep? Takes a shock blast, and damage still there. Not as much as you'd expect. But that's of course because Bin has just been trying to farm up, get towards the third item. Doesn't have the Mura mana fully stacked yet as well. So that'll be a big difference as Puff now has the Renan's Hurricane right before we get to this fight. Other core items, you can see the Shy now has the 2 items there on top of the Scion. There is a lot of follow-up here from the Shy and Shun coming up with this next engage.
I think a problem, though, is we don't have rookies Liandry's Anguish, right? He has the components for it, but he doesn't have it just yet, and I don't know if he'll be able to have it before this Dragon spawns. We're already 35 seconds. You would already want his recalls to be coming out. There's no Wolves available. I think he might have just taken Raptors, so maybe as a bit of gold, but point is, that second massive power spike isn't there.
I guess he's not willing to teleport in, right, as Angel actually burns his. Wave clearing the duty now of Invictus Gaming is 15 seconds until the Dragon spawns. Sol for Suning. The great denial of Invictus Gaming's composition that Lyrics already said. As Blastcone gets taken away, the Shy is frontlining here to get rid of some of the vision that gives the information of Suning as to placement.
Right now we see that IG are the ones with a better position, but SOFM would have a potential flank if he does come around. We do see flashes up on all key members on both sides. Only Shun is missing his, so I feel like those are things we need to keep track of. For Suning, I think they're just going to keep throwing in accelerated shock blast and then look for the engage with Lucas. Oh, the Shy?
Just try to follow Angel.
He turbo chem tanked.
Yeah, just runs it in while SOFM's in front of the pit. Now, there is a level advantage for Suning's jungler. As the graphic comes up, you know it's about to go into a fight. Bin gets half health immediately. SOFM back on the objective. This is everything to deny from Invictus Gaming. And give Suning a bit of breathing room as well. IG is a 4-stack here. Meanwhile, the Shy hit a bit of trouble, but Bin gets turned on. Jace goes down and Suning like, we need to get the Dragon down immediately. Shun is trying to run around as SOFM still in the pit. The AoE combo comes through. The Sol, though, is denied and given over to Suning. They've even won the fight with it, thanks to Angel's ultimate. Shun and Lucas on the return path. Angel over the wall. It's all gone absolutely down the drain for IG.
And what a statement game to come out from Suning once again after that game one. Suning were on a 2-series lose streak, come into game one, smack IG, and they are doing it again in game two. They get a bunch of kills, they get the Sol. This is going to turn into a Baron, and Suning are going to start opening up a massive gold lead on the map.
When you have a choke with Grell, Azir, it just feels like Suning were like, all right, our time to shine. They pulled it off. The Baron you mentioned is going to be taken down without contest, unless the Shy thinks he is big kamikaze Scion at the ready, which he does not this time around. And Suning in game two, lead with 4,000 gold at 24 minutes, and look poised to take this further.
You know, the fact that SOFM was still able to secure that Dragon, think about it. We had Rookie's ultimate on top of it. Damage was coming out from the Shy. Both 80 carries are there. There's just so much chaos. But we're going to go to the start of this. The Shy was originally chasing Angel does end up getting turned on. They are able to take down Bin to start this one off. IG need to engage here. They cannot let Suning take this. We do see them going, but amazing engage coming out from On. Locks down all members. The smite comes out from SOFM, and they're just able to finish everyone off before the fight even really starts. And it's great to see a member like On performing when, again, we've criticized him heavily. He's honestly been the worst performing member on Suning, which makes sense when he's also the newest. He's the rookie, but Suning coming out and beating the team that just 2-0'd EDG.
Suddenly Suning in position to 2-0 Invictus Gaming. It's funny how the turnabout play works here in the LPL. The Shy just going to get poked down. Now, of course, he's safe thanks to the Dark Passage. But Suning really using Angel is actually, that's a two-man engage. Ragnarok blown, but their target is Angel. He'll go golden, but he's on a gravity field. He'll use the ulti, but he's already dead. Invictus Gaming have a numbers advantage, and against the Baron up, Suning, they're in a bit of trouble. Knockup won't come through onto SOFM, and Bin wasn't in the play. So a pick for IG may have slowed it down as over the wall. Shun's like, no, there's a Jace here. He slaps him, but Bin needs a couple of more autos to take him down. The proc, the poke, he's too far out of range. And a close call from Invictus Gaming's jungler as IG's the Shy. Now in a bit of trouble himself, but he's tanky enough to absorb the pressure. And Suning back on for the Baron play.
Bin just jumped into two members, understanding that he would be able to outplay and get past the Shy and trying to burst Shun immediately. Even if he didn't get it done, it was so awesome to watch how mechanically proficient he is. Suning are going to keep up sieging down these turrets, though.
He's back. He's found On. Box goes down, but that's a three-man Magnet Storm. IG just got baited, man. Samira, Rell, these two together are the most beautiful couple I've ever seen. A triple kill given over. We're ready for the pentakill lyric. The Shy's tanking up, but you know what? Suning are back. Give him the pentakill, Angel, you absolute scum.
It doesn't matter if he didn't get the pentakill hysterics because Suning are going to take the game. It is going to be a 2-0. They were on a 2-series lose streak, but they end that here today with an amazing performance.
They do. I'm sorry to call Angel scum, but if you don't give the Penta over to Huanfeng, then that's what you're going to be left with. Suning against Invictus Gaming end our series early in under 1 hour. Show that they're still a force to be reckoned with as they take down Invictus Gaming.
And I feel like there's numerous things we could take away from this series and like this week as a whole with this series in context, right? When we look at IG, it's like, hey, they're changing the way they draft. I don't know if it's their coaching staff or the players or, again, like a group effort, everyone deciding, hey, we want to have what, again, quote unquote, more standard drafts. It's not about what we highlighted in our last series of like, okay, we're going to have a Lucian in the mid lane, a Quinn in the top lane. We're not really going to have a front line. It's going to be more aggressive, more about winning lanes. We're going to play more stock standard. We're going to team fight. We're going to take it slowly. And then for Suning, it's just, hey, really nice bounce back from their JDG performance. They did well across all lanes. Angel doing well in the mid lane. We saw Bin in SOFM in game 1 bullying out the Shy. In game 2, Bin absorbing pressure quite well. And Huanfeng and On kind of silently rising up to being these team fight monsters in this series.
How the LPL is, you know, that graphic, I think that was posted out publicly, the little, you know, greater than graphic. You know what I'm talking about, Lyric? Where
oh, the circle of suck.
The circle of suck, that's right. This ends so abruptly where Suning just 2-0 the team that beat the undefeated team in the LPL, and suddenly we're left here thinking,
wait, Hysterics. I know what I'm left here thinking. I'm thinking who's Suning facing next, who's going to 2-0 them. Great, it's TT. It's TT Hysterics. We know what's happening.
Okay, all right. Well, Circle of Suck. It's such a great name for it. I feel like here in the LPL, you know, we could be a little abrasive, a little bit rude sometimes. I apologize for calling Angel scum, but that Penta was Huanfeng's, man. He was set up for success thanks to On, and it all ends so suddenly when IG find a pick, when IG around mid lane actually hold on. Udi gets out, he comes back in for the re-engage, but then you forget Rell exists, and Rell's a champion who likes people grouping up, and Samira and Rell, the best power couple I've seen on the Rift, man. Better than Xayah Rakan, because those two just group up and make, you know, a happy couple.
I also think even more so than just being grouped up around Rell, Rell's extremely happy when you group up running into her, because, right, her her combo and her engage is actually very telegraphed. We've talked many times about how it's also able to be disrupted. So when they're running at you and they're giving you the easy way of jumping on them, you land the ult, you then land the E as well. It's like, man, thank you for throwing this at me. And that's what IG did in that last fight. I think in the first one, Lucas did a great job of flashing and finding that himself. And then Huanfeng recognizing the opportunity and following up. It's just like, we always knew that the members of Suning had this ability, right? We obviously saw it last year. We saw it at Worlds. You don't go to World Finals unless your skill ceiling is extremely high. We just know that Suning have been struggling with a lot of different issues in terms of like team cohesion, shot calling. Yep. They've been making a lot of, I'd say, I don't want to say basic mistakes because that just sounds like it makes it too black and white, but it's like, okay, even this game where we saw On back off from clearing that ward before going back with Angel to do it, those were things that he wasn't doing before, and in those instances, he was getting picked off. So I think, yeah, really nice from Suning, and that graph was very telling. You had a very steady game, which we were highlighting, was good for IG most of the time. They are fine with that into one moment where Suning just absolutely pop off in that team fight.
What did you say at the start of the series? You said, you know, IG fans, after beating EDG, they're like, wait, you know,
we're going to lose. They said they'd go 0-2 against Suning. IG fans, you guys called this series. Going to the damage numbers, bin damage expected. Angel, he didn't have a very flashy game 1 or game 2, but he put up the numbers both games. Again, went even in laning phase against Rookie. There were times where he had prio and he was actually hovering for his team more. And then there were some good Emperor's Divides. And again, he was that backline threat that was continuously putting up. And even the Shurima Shuffle around, I think it was when Soul happened, I think he's the one that also set Luke up for that big play. So again, big praise to Angel. Suning as a team just showing up today, and IG, the prophecy has been fulfilled.
And it's exciting to talk about, right? Where Suning are now in a very comfortable position in standings. They're 4 and 5, and I say comfortable, like they're just a little bit below playoffs. But when Suning were expected to lose this game, they're expected to, you know, be questionable against V5, TT, even RW, I'd say, to a degree, right? And then they got WE, LNG. Like Suning were in a dangerous position where a lot of these potential losses would hurt them in the long run. So this win against IG could be the thing we look back on and say for Suning that this was how they got into a favorable position either in the King of the Hill or the elimination bracket, our new bracket, going into LPL playoffs.
And yeah, I definitely agree with that. It's going to be really cool to see, again, how both these squads pan out.
Sir, I have one thing left to say. For Invictus Gaming fans, they are now 5 and 5. They're equal in the standings once again, right? They got BLG next, which we don't know how that's going to go. Let's be quite honest. You know, they're similar teams in the standings right now. But then we have IG Top Esports. And then that should tell us a full story, right? Right?
Yeah.
Yep. I just don't understand.
I thought you were going somewhere more with that. I'm sorry.
No. I don't know how to analyze IG. Do you? Does anyone know how to talk about this?
To be fair, I do think we are seeing different things done by IG since Lunar New Year. So we've seen 2 series. Again, they're drafting completely differently than they were before Lunar New Year. We're seeing Puff coming in. Lucas had only played 1 or 2 series before Lunar New Year. So I still think it's too hard to judge what is this Invictus Gaming.
Well, with that, we move forward. We are waiting for MVP. While we're having a chat there, I was actually just looking up to see if there was an unofficial world champion belt in this series as well. There is not.
No. Hysterics.
It's actually V5 versus OMG. Actually took that away.
It was lost today.
Was it?
Yeah, sure? V5 lost.
Oh yeah, they did.
Game 1.
Okay. All right. Well, the world champion